The Silly Adventures of Professor Pickle and His Talking Sandwich. In a little town named Snackville, there lived a very curious man called Professor Pickle. Professor Pickle was a scientist, but not your usual kind of scientist. He didn't study planets or animals. He studied food. That's right. His whole life's work was figuring out how food could talk, walk, and even dance. One afternoon, while in his lab, which was really just his kitchen, Professor Pickle had a brilliant idea. "What if I could make the perfect sandwich that could talk?" he said aloud, adjusting his pickle-shaped goggles. He rushed around his kitchen, gathering ingredients for his masterpiece. He took 2 slices of bread, slathered on some mustard, added a slice of cheese, and topped it off with, what else? A pickle, of course. With a zap and a flash, Professor Pickle's sandwich suddenly wiggled. "Whoa," he gasped. "It's alive." To his amazement, the sandwich popped up and started talking. "Hi there, I'm Sammy the Sandwich," it said with a little sandwich grin. "I like pickles, cheese, and a good chat." Professor Pickle was so excited. "You can talk. This is incredible. What else can you do?" "Well, I can dance," Sammy the Sandwich said. And with that, the sandwich did a little jig on the counter. Professor Pickle laughed so hard he almost dropped his jar of pickles. "You're amazing, Sammy, but I have to ask, how are you feeling? Are you hungry?" Sammy paused and then replied, "Well, I was hungry until I realized I am a sandwich. Now I'm just confused." The two of them spent the whole afternoon experimenting. Sammy the Sandwich could tell jokes, dance the salsa, and even recite Shakespeare. But when it came time for dinner, Professor Pickle faced a dilemma. What do I do with a talking, dancing sandwich? Just then, Sammy the Sandwich had an idea. "Why don't we start a sandwich talent show? I could be the star." And so they did. They invited all the food in Snackville, and the show was a huge hit. There was Benny the Bagel, who could juggle fruits, Tommy the Tomato, who did magic tricks, and Gary the Grapefruit, who could sing opera. But Sammy the Sandwich, with his wiggling dance moves and witty jokes, stole the show. From that day on, Sammy the Sandwich became a local celebrity. People came from all over to see the amazing dancing, joke-telling sandwich. And Professor Pickle, of course, became the most famous food scientist in the land, always inventing new and hilarious food creations. And so Professor Pickle and Sammy the Sandwich lived happily ever after, bringing joy, laughter, and a little bit of mustard to the world.